Welcome to CBJ News. I'm Rachel Yates.
And I'm Ashley Tuttle. A young girl has been injured after a machine gun went off at the Nottinghamshire Police Headquarters.
And St Anne's takes a look back in time as it prepares for Remembrance Day. All this and more in our programme tonight. Investigations are underway after a 7-year-old girl was injured when a firearm went off during a school trip to Nottinghamshire Police Headquarters. The weapon was pointing to the ground and the girl, who has not been named, received a minor injury to her lip. Assistant Chief Constable Simon Torr has apologised for the incident. The officer involved has now been taken off firearm duties whilst it's investigated.
A new crackdown on the sale of legal highs is being planned after more than 50 people across Nottinghamshire have died in a year after taking them. Despite the fact that drugs are not against the law, experts are warning this doesn't mean they are safe. Now, Nottinghamshire County Council's Chair of Community Safety, Glyn Guilfoyle, says more should be done to restrict their use.
But the substances which are contained within those legal highs can be dangerous. There has been, up to 2012's, 52 recorded deaths through using legal highs.
There's a new row today over the controversial rise in university tuition fees after the government has refused to hold a review of the student finance system. We cross now to Harry Hammett in the newsroom. So, Harry, why is this issue back in the news?
Well, this issue's come back into the news because of the House of Commons Business Innovation and Skills Committee, who published a report saying that there's some major issues going on with the way that current student finance is run. They project that in 30 years there'll be £330 billion owed to the Treasury that haven't been paid back. This is the third report in a few years that they've published for Commons that hasn't been listened to. At the minute, the way that current student finance works means that for every £1 that's lent to a student, the Exchequer only gets 45 pence back. And recently the BIS asked government for an urgent meeting about readdressing this and redoing it, but the government has so far refused.
So what's being done about these claims by the BIS?
Well, what's being done is kind of a million-dollar question at the minute right now, because you can argue that nothing's being done currently and we're kind of waiting on government to act. Obviously, what they would like to happen is for there to be a massive change in the way that tuition is worked out, because none of these issues were as major when the tuition fees were only £3,000, whereas now that they've tripled, suddenly the amount that's not getting paid back is a lot higher, which means there's a much steeper gap for the Treasury to make up.
So what's going to happen in the future then?
Again, this is something that's really, really hard to project, but for the minute it would probably make sense that the government is going to have to, at some point, think about readdressing this balance.
Thank you very much for that, Harry.
Doctors are calling for the calorie content on all alcoholic drinks to be labelled to cut down on obesity. The drinks industry says they're open to the idea, but labelling drinks with units of alcohol was more important. Bar owners in Nottingham are in favour of the change, as Amy Culbertson reports.
Labels on alcohol telling us how strong it is something we're all used to. But now doctors want these labels to also tell us how fattening the drinks are. They say a pint of lager contains as many calories as a packet of crisps or chocolate bar, and that we all need to know this for the sake of our health. Some bar managers across Nottingham would agree.
I think the way the industry is moving, people being more health conscious, I think it's inevitable that this will, it will be put in place. I think it'll make people more conscious of what they're drinking, but I don't think it'll affect I don't think it'll have such a strong effect that it will stop people coming out to drink. It might just mean they change what they're drinking whilst they're out.
I think it's really important. I think people should definitely know what they're drinking, and I think people think that what they're drinking they don't realise how many calories are in things that they're drinking, so they think that there's nothing in there, and they don't realise the nutritional information that can be in alcohol.
The drive to improve the nation's health includes advice on diet and exercise. Here at Nottingham Trent University Gym, there is a variety of resources available. Could improving drink labelling make people more aware of how to be healthy? The gym nutritionist tells us more.
That it'd be great to have the calories on the bottles themselves. However, I wonder how much people pay attention when they're actually out drinking. People that are into fitness quite a lot, they will know the calories in most drinks, alcoholic drinks anyway. But the ones that are recreational and they still want to keep fit, but they still want to have a drink, then yes, they'll probably think twice about having 2 pints down the pub before a workout, before or after a workout.
The drinks industry says it's more important to label alcohol strength on products, but that they are also open to this new call for better labelling. Amy Culbertson, CBJ News.
Whilst we're on the subject of drinks, over 100 clubs, pubs and bars in Nottingham have chosen not to pay a new alcohol levy that allows them to serve alcohol after midnight. If any of the bars are caught serving after hours, they could be fined up to £4,400. Alex Gilday-Trott is in the newsroom with more for us. Alex, what's the background to this?
Well, the head of drugs and alcohol services for Framework Nottingham has told me exactly what this late night levy means, because there has been some confusion.
So the late night levy, we're one of the early pilots implementing it, looking at the UK as a whole, and the idea being that any premises that sells alcohol past midnight will pay essentially a levy towards additional policing and hospital costs and community cover.
Clubs who refuse to pay the levy?
Well, not exactly. 117 pubs and bars in Nottingham have chosen not to pay the levy, which means they cannot serve alcohol after midnight. However, if they are caught, then there will be a penalty in the form of a very heavy fine of up to £4,400 inducted on them by the council. And this is all about policing and maintaining Nottingham's purple flag status of being a safe and enjoyable city.
And what have the authorities had to say about this?
Well, Nottingham's Chief Inspector Sean Ossel has said today, I spoke to him earlier, that the late night levy at the moment forms part of a wider initiative to encourage responsible drinking in the city centre. He also asked for people to remain careful of themselves and others when they're drinking to reduce the likelihood of becoming injured or being involved in violence whilst out in the town.
And the City Council are keen to keep the purple flag status?
Well, yeah, they're very keen on trying to keep it. That's their main priority. Councillor John Collins has come out and said that he desperately wants to keep up the immaculate record of having the purple flag for the last few years now. Essentially, his thinking is that earlier the pubs and bars closed, the less violence there will be and the less crimes committed in Nottingham.
Thank you, Alex.
Next week will mark 100 years since the start of the First World War. People around Nottingham are chosen to remember by volunteering in the 11-11-11 exhibition and county-wide programme showing just how important it is to keep on remembering. Now it's time for your sport. We'll begin with football. Nottingham Forest manager Stuart Pearce is looking to ease the pressure with a victory against Norwich City tomorrow. This comes after a 3-1 defeat at home by Brentford, their third in a row, dropping them to 11th place in the Championship. Nottingham Trent's American football team, the Renegades, have spent today training with the NFL Jacksonville Jaguars. This once-in-a-lifetime opportunity came after the Renegades won a unique social media competition between universities up and down the country. That's all for your sport. You're up to date.
And now here's your weather. It's been quite drizzly today with some strong gusts of wind at times. The rain is looking to settle down this evening with some dry spells, although a few showers are still likely, but mainly in the east. Unfortunately, still expect it to remain breezy tonight with temperatures dropping to 8 degrees. So if you're heading out tonight, don't forget to wrap up. Well, we'll see you tomorrow, and I hope that you've enjoyed our headlines tonight. It's been me and Rachel Yates, and that's all for now from CBJ News. Have a lovely weekend.
Goodbye.
Oh my goodness. I am doing lots of work this weekend, so I hope you're having a fantastic time this weekend. Maybe go for a picnic, even though it might not be great because of the rain. I hope you have a fantastic time, whatever you're doing.
Yes, and Christmas is coming, so make sure you start doing the shopping now.
There's loads of presents all around, so I'm sure you'll find something. Goodbye.
Thank you.